DreAllDay.com.
All right, so WF Fron said, I always wanted to ask black guys this. Be honest, too. All right, this should be an interesting question. Yeah, oh, no, exactly. That's the same thing I'm thinking. What kind of question is this going to be? Let's see it. All right, let's have the question. Let's hear it. Let's hear the question. Hopefully it's a good one. All right, you got the whole room waiting to hear what this question is. What's going on? 14SES 14SES88. How you doing? No, somebody said they want to ask. They said I always wanted to ask a black guy this question. Now I'm waiting for them to tell me what the question is. They didn't say it yet. Do I speak Russian? I do not. Who am I? My name's Dre Baldwin. Many of you know me as Dre All Day. I am an empowerment expert. I do that through athletics, through speaking, through writing, through coaching, through consulting, and through Periscope videos like this one. Yes, I do play basketball. If you go to my YouTube channel, you'll see a whole bunch of my YouTube vids. All right, here's the question. Why do African Americans call each other the N-word, which is derogatory, but when white people say, black people get mad? That's actually a great question. I'm glad you asked that question. Actually, I'm gonna address that really briefly. We're not gonna make this whole conversation about it, but I will address that. And that's actually a good point. Because black people do kind of take it so outspoken responded. Right. So that's a great question. Is actually an intriguing paradox, and you're actually accurate with that question. You're right. You're absolutely right. I agree with you. I agree with what you're saying, WF Tron. You are right. There are black people who use that word all the time. Me, I'm very conscious of using that word when I'm around people who I don't want saying it. Like if I use that word, it's only when I'm around other people who I don't mind if they saying it to me, and that means other black men. That's usually the only people I talk to using that word. But I won't use that word. I would not use that word if I'm talking to, if it's one white person in the room, I'm not going to use that word because I don't want them to think that it's number one, I don't want them to think that it's okay to use it. And number two, I wouldn't use it because it would make them uncomfortable. Like if I was white and then some black dudes were sitting around, they was all throwing the N-word around. I know I can't say it, so I don't want to laugh too hard. I don't want to get in the conversation because if I say the wrong word, somebody might take it the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? So I spoke and said, turning the way of talking it to our friends, turning it into something positive. People say exactly. Brandon Geek said he called white people my nigga. Well, you have to try and say I hate it. I'm white. I piss it off. I get pissed off when they say it. I'm all for empowering each other. I get it. I agree with what you're saying. I don't like when I see black people using the N-word in front of non-black people because you're giving them the impression that it's okay for them to say it. And then you might think it's cool to say it, but then that white person who said it around their black friends who let it go, they're going to go say it to some other black dude who's not cool with it, and then they're going to get their ass whipped, and they're like, yo, my black friends let me say it all the time, but because different black people got different views on it. So I think people should be very careful with using that word, my opinion. I don't like to use it around non-black people because I don't want to give them the wrong impression. I don't want them to feel uncomfortable like they can't be in the conversation. But I also don't tolerate anybody who's not black saying that word to me. Exactly. I get you, WF Tron. You're right. I don't throw around terms like that. So Outspoken says she doesn't mind when people say it. Okay, see, exactly. That's what I mean. There's some black people who don't care, and there's some black people who be ready to fight you if you say the N-word and you're not black. And you say he sees white people saying it to white people, I'm not cool with that. If I heard some white people say it, I ain't going to go jump in a conversation, but they better not say it to me. If a white person says it to me and he's trying to be like friendly, then I'll say to him like, I'll get to you, Ephraim, calm down. If a white person says the N-word to me and they're trying to be friendly, I'll pull them aside and say, yo, like, I don't know where you got it that it was cool, but don't say that word to me. If they say they're trying to be disrespectful, then there's going to be a problem. I don't think people usually use it to be disrespectful. But then what happens is black people throw it around so easily that people who are not black start thinking that it's cool. And then they start throwing it around, and then they say it to the wrong person. WF Chan says a black person says it. If a black person says the N-word to me, and it's just me and that person, I can have a conversation with them. I can use it right back at them because sometimes you got to talk to people in a language that they understand. There's some people who only know how to talk like that. They don't know how to talk they don't know how to kind of clean up their language depending on the audience they're speaking in front of. You understand? How do I feel about Black Lives Matter? Well, that's a completely different conversation, I think, so outspoken. Like, the thing is, WF Tron, let's say, like, last couple weeks ago, I was doing some business with this dude. He's from Liberty City, which is like the hood of Miami, like the hood. Like, North Philly ain't as bad as Liberty City. So I went down there, and I just knew, just from talking to him for a few minutes, the kind of guy he is, like the kind of language that he'll be able to relate to. Because if I go talking to him all proper, like I'm talking to some 60-year-old white guy, he's not going to connect with me. He's going to be like, yo, this dude he's black, he looks like me, but he's all proper, he don't talk like me, he not from the environment I'm from, he doesn't think how I think, so we wouldn't have been able to have a real conversation. You understand? Grand Theft Audio, Liberty City, yeah, I think that's Miami. I don't play that game, but I think so. The only way you change the heart color is to leave and come back. So that's what I mean. But then when I go to some corporate office and I'm talking to some 60-year-old white Jewish guy who's from Boca Raton, I got to talk a completely different way. I want to speak a way that's similar to how he speaks, how he thinks, so that he says, oh, me and Dre are on the same wavelength. Because if I go in there and I'm throwing around an N-word and talking like I've been listening to Snoop Dogg all day, he's not going to connect with me. He's like, I can't do business with this guy. Even though I'm the exact same person with the exact same knowledge, skills, and information. You understand that? So you got to be, they call it being a chameleon. Any of y'all who ever worked in sales, you know what I mean. When you talking to an old white guy, you got to talk like him. When you talk to some teenage white girl, you talk like her. When you talk to some black dude who's from the hood, you got to talk like him. So you got to be able to change yourself based on the conversation that you're having. So like when I did a TED Talk, I had to talk for that audience. But if I go talk to some kids at the jail, I'm going to talk completely differently. So I can call him something negative. It's not negative to him. That's the thing. To him, it's not negative. To him, it's a term of endearment. So if I'm in Liberty City and some dude say, yo, what up, my N-word, they saying it to me like, yo, what up, my N-word? I'll be watching you on YouTube all the time. N-word, I'll be like, yo, what up? I'm going to say it right back to him. Because in that environment, that's what they see. If I act like I'm nervous about saying that word, they're going to be like, yo, this dude Dre is fake. You know what I'm saying? They don't understand. They don't understand. They only know what they know. That's what you got to understand, WF Tron. People only understand what they understand. And everybody does not understand everything. And a lot of people never leave. A lot of people live their whole lives in one space, one type of environment. You understand what I'm saying? Be myself. Yeah, I am being myself. I'm a multifaceted type of individual. Somebody said that. Use the word multifaceted. I'm a multifaceted person. I come from the inner city. I went to school with a bunch of white people. I went to middle school with white people, high school with black people, black people from the hood. I went to middle school with white people from the suburbs, high school with black people from the hood. I went to college with people that was from everywhere, white, black, suburban, inner city, outer city. I went and played basketball in 8 different countries internationally. I lived in Philadelphia. Now I live in South Florida, which has people from all over the world. So I know I have been around all different types of environments. So I understand there's a different way you got to talk to different people. You understand that? No, I would never call a white person those words. I view that the same way as a white person calling me the N-word. Well, I thought this was going to be a short conversation. I guess I was wrong. But yeah, like I said, you got to be able to talk to people in a language that they understand. If anybody, like I said, if any of y'all have ever worked in sales, you know what I'm talking about. You got to be able to talk to them in their language. It's kind of like, well, WF Tron, I get it. If you think it shouldn't be used, you're right. If somebody else thinks it should, they're right. There's no right or wrong to it. If you don't like using the word, you're not black, you shouldn't use the word. I don't want to see a person who's not a minority using that word. I don't care who they talking to, even if they trying to be funny. Don't use that word, because you might say that to the wrong person and you get yourself in some trouble if you say it to the wrong person. There are people who be ready to fight you. I don't care. You could be singing the words to a song, like the most popular song on the radio. You say the N-word and a black person hear you, they be like, yo, what you just said? Even though you're just singing the song and trying to be friendly, they'll take it personal. I know black people like that. But there's also black people who will let you say it and they're like, yo, it's cool. You can say it however you want. But understand, only around those people. You say it around the wrong person, you're in a whole completely different situation. But I appreciate you bringing up that question. That's actually a good question. I appreciate you having the courage to actually ask it. Thanks for watching this video. I'm sure you were entertained. Make sure to stay connected with me on all your favorite social networks. Twitter and Periscope at Dre All Day. Instagram, Dre Baldwin. Facebook /WorkOnYourGame. You can bookmark my YouTube channel by subscribing, of course. And the website is WorkOnYourGame. That's .me. WorkOnYourGA.me. And of course, my homepage is my website, DreAllDay.com, so you can know exactly what I'm doing, exactly when I'm doing it, and how you might be able to be involved. Work on your